my thing is that I think Dolton needs professionalism. And that's why I said Jason represents a level of professionalism. Now, the reason why I'm bringing up Cassandra Hobson, Jordan, is for devil's advocate, just for people to look at another option, because she was saying that if you don't agree with everybody on Team House, that everybody is attacking her and XYZ. Now, being objective, I sat back and I said, well, let me see how she handles herself when she's talking to people. And
Absolutely.
and I want to play this,
And I'm
not
biting
to
my tongue, so go ahead.
I know you biting your tongue right now. And
I'm
again,
literally biting my tongue.
but it's important because again, how people represent themselves. It's not so much about what people say about you, it's what you say about yourself when you present yourself.
When I look at what this has been before us, I said before I put another person in office, I will throw my hat in this race. Because the people need to have other choices. You all should be responsible for the choice that you all have made. And mostly everyone that come to this meeting,
No.
you pissed off, you mad, you angry, you upset. And I don't understand why. Because you guys are the one that voted and put this young lady in office. So you have to take some responsibility for the choices that you have made. So this is where all
So how do you
the
take
upset
responsibility?
and people,
How do you take responsibility?
well, Miss Sherry, as I recall, you were one of the main ones, the Tiffany. So and this is what I'm saying.
Listen,
You
I'm
guys,
not
I
gonna
will
do this
not.
with you.
No,
Don't
listen,
all that
no,
what
listen.
I did
Because,
and this
no,
and that and
because,
the third. None of that. Because you
well, you know
hollering,
what?
you
Because it's
talking
funny.
crazy, you've
It's
been
funny how
talking
you can
crazy
be on
and
Facebook.
going off and
It's
yelling
funny.
and all that.
No, Miss Ma'am.
I asked
No,
you a
Miss Ma'am.
question. You
Because
just
Slow
don't
down.
answer the question.
give
You
you an
running for
answer. I'm
mayor
going to
and
give you
all
an
you can
answer.
do is talk about me. You
I'm
did
giving
this
you an
and you
answer.
did that. No,
Because it's
no. You
funny
keep
how
yelling and
you can
screaming.
be
You
defensive,
don't and talk about
and
what
it's
people
funny how
did.
you guys,
Why don't you just answer?
Let it go. It's not worth it.
sweetheart, it's
Just
funny
answer the
how on
question.
Facebook, Dalton Politics, and you all can
You're
spread
not
all this
answering the questions. You
slanderous
called in to
and
ask
what,
questions, but you won't answer
listen,
questions. You
I'm
just
making a
said that you were
statement
running
now
for mayor.
because I didn't hear your
How do
question.
you think we should take responsibility? Maybe if you give us that
Well,
answer, give us the answer of how
as
we'll
I
do it,
said,
maybe we will.
only you know how to take responsibility for your choices. You guys made the
And
choice.
how do we
Take
do that?
responsibility for
We
it.
made
But don't get mad
a
at
choice and
everybody
voted for
that
her.
doesn't want to
We
go in
made
the
a
route in the
choice and
direction
voted
that
for
you guys
her.
are going.
She did a
There's
bad
so much
job, and we
hostility from you
made the
guys.
choice to
The
hold her
minute a
accountable
person
for
says they are
that.
not House 2025, look
So
at Miss
how do
Vivian
we
Allen.
do
I know
that?
she watches
We
because
vote her
I want to
out.
address her as well. Oh, she's a Tiffany plant. I know for a motherfucking fact. I've watched the crazy videos. I even sent this
I don't
stuff
know
to my
how she
lawyer.
gonna win for mayor.
So
She
watch
can't
all
even
the
shut up.
slander and the hate and all this stuff that's going across. You never took the time to get to know a person, and I'm willing and open.
We're losing focus. She's not the issue.
Get to know who I am, the whole 9 yards.
This is who
But I
running.
get in the Dolton politics,
These are
the
choices.
little slanders
Tiffany,
and the
her, and
videos and all
Jason.
this other
Now,
stuff. But yet,
what makes sense to
you
y'all?
guys want us to listen to you all and put the person that you want back in office when you guys have not exemplified true leadership and what it means to be responsible and to act like human beings. I would expect this behavior
You won't
from
even let nobody
people.
talk. You call people rude, and this is rude to the utmost.
Okay.
To the 10th
No,
power.
it's not rude.
You
It's
won't
my
even stop
experience.
and let people
My
talk. You
experience.
ask a question.
Because
If
see,
I ask you a
when
question,
people
how do
be
we take
honest,
responsibility? Answer the
sweetheart,
question. You're running for office. I'm not.
sweetheart, you know how to take responsibility for your own actions.
No.
I can't tell you
Don't
how to
call
take
me
responsibility
sweetheart. I'm
for your
56
actions.
years old.
I'm
not
just
your
telling
sweetheart.
you of my experience. You guys have been rude. You guys have been nasty. You guys have been slandered. Oh, so, okay, what have I done to slander
Don't
you?
even let a person get a
What have I
word
done
in
to slander you? What have I done to slander you? Do I need to pull up the Facebook post?
So the later half of that video is what I wanted to play because, I know that Cassandra is running as an alternative, which I think is fine. And if you're playing devil's advocate or you're looking at it objectively and saying, okay, we're not going to assume everybody is for Jason House. That's normal. That's fine. There should be options when people run. But the problem is that, if you're going to be running for mayor, you have to be able to describe why you should be mayor. And I think when the young woman named Sherry, well, she's not a young woman, but grown
Yes,
women.
Sherry,
Great.
that is my ace boon coon. I love her. She is so awesome.
And
Um,
she asked a normal question.
Let me tell y'all something. I just want to say this because I always, every time I talk, I try and give Sherry her props and her kudos. Sherry is the one that put this in motion. Like I told you, remember, I was fighting by myself, but Sherry is the one that went to certain agencies and organizations to get this seen by others. She went to the local media. She sought out YouTube. Sherry is the one that put everything into motion to get this fight started. Without Sherry, I don't think that we would be where we're at right now today. Sherry did a lot, when I say a lot of leg work for this administration. Sherry made sure that she sought out the media. She sought out the FBI. She sought out YouTubers. She sought out a lot of people that at this point was not vested in Dolton. You got to understand that we were fighting and fighting and fighting, and nobody was really truly paying attention to Dolton until she won that township seat.
Mm-hmm.
Without Hingard winning that township seat, they would have never shined the spotlight on poor little Dolton. But let me get to Cassandra Hobson Jordan.
Well, what do you say? What do you say, real quick, for her? What do you say to the object or the narrative that, okay, if y'all gonna say we're gonna go for House 2025, what do y'all say to someone such as her who says you should get rid of everybody because they were all part of running this administration into the ground?
How do you come in trying to be a mayor and you're going to have trustees that you're not going to want to work with,
Right.
because some of them are going to win their seats. You only have one trustee that's running with you. You can't just go in and fire trustees because they're elected officials.
Right.
So therefore, we vote for them. So even if we did vote her in and vote her plant trustee in, it's still other trustees that would be a part of the board that have already been there. So then what do we do with them? You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
her ideology is just get rid of everybody. That shows me that she's never been in leadership. She's never been in leadership. She's never managed and she's never supervised. Because if you've been in leadership, if you managed and you supervised, you would know that day one, you just can't come in and fire everybody. You, unless you have a staff, a staffing service, and you have people already ready to go into those seats. And when it comes to elected officials, you can't just get rid of everybody and then staff them from a agency until you find somebody to fill those roles. That's not how government works.
Mm-hmm.
So with her ideology of doing that, that shows that she's not qualified or fit for that seat, because she doesn't even understand what she needs to do to come in as a leader. When you come in as a leader, you need to have a plan. You need to understand that you're going to have people that are not going to always want to vote in your favor and work with you, but you have to be willing to work with people to come to a common ground. She's not
Right.
willing to do that. You see, she won't even shut up.
To your point, you're gonna have to learn how to work with people and learn how to listen. And I think the worst part of it was that and I think you might have froze up on me. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you
Oh,
hear me?
cool, cool. All right. So I think what took me back a little bit when I listened to that clip is I said, okay, we talked about this the last show about being the concept of her calling you messy, other people messy, and I think that residents are going to be a certain way because they're not elected officials, and I think that for whatever reason, and that's why I've been most impressed by Jason, because I said that, okay, regardless to whether, and we saw Jason take abuse. I mean, that was, we saw him take abuse from Tiffany all day, every day, but that's what makes him be professional, because when he does speak, He speaks about what is important, or he speaks about the actual business in and of itself. It doesn't come off as personal. So I think that where Cassandra may have lost is what she, it's not so much what she said. Well, it is what she said, but it's what she didn't say. So I think where the opportunity was missed is that it's not about firing back at the residents and all the nastiness or whatever, the messiness. It's going to come at you anyway. If you're going to run, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to run, it's going to come at you anyway. And I think the reason why, now, if Jason conducted himself differently, people will probably look at him differently. You know what I'm saying? So I think for her, it would have been interesting to see her. You got to take in the nastiness, understand where it's coming from, regardless whether people calling you or planting this and that, and then try to come forth with the plan, a level of professionalism, and say, you know what, this is what I have planned. You know what I'm saying? Because if people are going for Jason, I think they're going for him because of how he conducts himself, and